Thanks everybody for coming in on such short notice this evening. My name is David Moore. I'm the police chief for Janesville. To my immediate right is Sheriff Bob Spoden of the Rock County Sheriff's Department, and further down the line on my right is Captain Todd Christensen of the Rock County Sheriff's Department. I'm here to notify the community that we have arrested a Janesville police officer, Sergeant Brian Donahoue. He has been with the Janesville Police Department he's in his 32nd year with the department. I intend to share with you the employee and department information of this arrest, and the Sheriff's Department will share with you the criminal investigation. On September 22nd, there was a domestic dispute at the Donohoue family home, and this is during the daytime hours, and this was while the sergeant was on duty. We were notified of this domestic issue on the 23rd, and that same afternoon we asked for the assistance of the Rock County Sheriff's Department to investigate this matter. On the morning of the 24th, Sergeant Donahoue was placed on administrative leave. Recently we had learned that there were marriage difficulties with the Donahues approximately 1 month ago. Mrs. Donohoue had concerns for her safety that caused us to open an internal investigation, and our investigations showed that there was no domestic violence or threat of domestic violence in the home. As an employer, we offered assistance to Sergeant Donahoue at that time, and also assistance to Mrs. Donohoue in various methods, both professional and family assistance. The most recent status of Mr. and Mrs. Donohoue is that they are separated and they are living in different homes. The Janesville Police Department will be conducting another and separate internal investigation based upon the events of this domestic matter. I can tell you that this domestic matter was handled like any other domestic violence investigation that we have in this community, with the exception of that we had the Sheriff's Department handle it for us. Sergeant Donahoue was arrested for domestic violence battery. This afternoon he was processed at the Rock County Sheriff's Department, and he posted bond. I'll mention that this is just the first step in the criminal justice system. There was probable cause for the arrest of Sergeant Donahoue, but certainly there are other and further events to occur in the criminal justice system, as there are for all individuals. I can tell you that domestic violence is a priority for the Janesville Police Department, and that being said, although the Sheriff's Department conducted the criminal investigation, we will be offering Mrs. Donohoue all of the support and services that we typically do in domestic violence situations. And with that, I'll answer any questions regarding the employer and employee side. And if you have questions about the criminal investigation, I'll have the Sheriff's Department speak to those.
You said he was on duty when this first happened?
He was.
Why was he at home when he was on duty?
He was on an assignment in that general area by his home, and he had stopped by his home.
Is that something that's typical for officers to do, to stop by their home when they're...
Sure. Particularly for patrol officers, they go to their homes for their breaks. In this particular incident, it's not atypical if you're nearby your home to stop by and if you want to use a restroom or grab a soda or the like.
Is he on paid leave?
He is. And that is by Wisconsin statute.
Was there anyone else, this might be criminal in the Sheriff's Department, was there anyone else at home when the incident occurred, any children?
No,
No one else was in?
there's no one else in the residence.
Has he had a history of violence at all in the past?
Absolutely not. Sergeant Donahoue is a very gentle and caring person, has been our experience at the department. I reviewed his records. There has been no discipline at all with this individual, no indications of violence, quite frankly, no indication of even raising his voice with anybody.
any previous calls to this house?
Not for domestic violence.
Can you say what
No.
the nature of the calls were that happened?
We had a incident where Mrs. Donohoue was visiting neighbors, and the neighbors had concerns for her, but again, there was no domestic violence.
What were the neighbors' allegations then?
I'm sorry?
What were the neighbors' allegations then when they made the call?
Just that she had shown up at their home and had concerns for her safety, although the internal investigations showed that that was unfounded. And that was part of our investigation that we had opened up during the last month.
So when we spoke with her responding to that call, she declined to press charges, or?
There was no domestic violence. She told us, as did family members, that there was no foundation for her concerns for her safety.
It seems though that disputes between her and Sergeant Donahoue had been going on for quite some time from the history of the calls to the home.
Well, again, actually that call went to a neighboring home, and as we always are trying to be very forthcoming with your answers to your questions here. But there was not a call to the home, there was a call to the neighborhood. I wouldn't put it over a long period of time. I can tell you that we have been aware about this for about the last month.
And I guess at that point, for that call to the neighbor's home, was Mrs. Donohoue given domestic violence contacts, or no, because it was found nothing?
Well, through this whole process, we have offered both professional services and family services. We've been working with her family to help her through these times. So that probably occurred before and after. I don't quite have the timeline, but we've been having many contacts with Mrs. Donohoue trying to help her through these issues.
Do they have children?
They do not.
Typically in a situation like this, when someone who's employed by your department is involved in some sort of domestic dispute with their partner, and that partner's offered help, is there a conflict of interest at all? Do you offer help outside of the department?
We do, yes. No, that's typically something we offer all of our employees is, whether it's the employees or the spouse or the children, we offer those various types of assistance, whether it's through our chaplains program. We're starting up a peer-to-peer situation here for assistance, but we also have professional assistance too that we offer employees and their families.
Can you describe what happened that preceded the call? What happened when officers showed up? Just the situation.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that to the Sheriff's Department. I can tell you that the injuries that occurred were not life-threatening and there were no weapons involved.
Going back to that first call, did the Janesville Police Department handle the neighbor's call, or was another agency brought in since it involved an officer?
No, we handled that, and we had already been working towards helping Mrs. Donohoue with her concerns. So it just kind of rolled into that, the help that we were already offering her.
Was there any concern of a conflict of interest?
No, not at that point. Again, by all indications, there was no domestic violence. There was no threat of domestic violence. And Mrs. Donohoue shared with us that there was no threat of domestic violence. She had these, I'll call them unfounded fears.
She said her fears were unfounded?
I'm categorizing them as unfounded.
Is it easier for you to categorize them as unfounded because one of your officers was involved?
I would have the same statement if it was any citizen in this community.
But there wasn't any concern that because she was dealing with her husband's department, she might not be as forthcoming?
No. We talked to many people, not just Mrs. Donohoue, to come to that conclusion. Other family members.
How's her relationship with the department in the past? Did she, was she close to people, or was she more of a distant person? And
I don't know.
When will the investigation be expected to be completed?
I can only speak to the internal investigation. Will be